Cara, thanks a million for speaking to us. I know you're up early, so you're probably tired at this stage.
Hello.
Can you explain to people watching why you're there, why you're protesting?
I suppose I'm doing my 50-hour protest outside Leinster House from 10 a.m. this morning until 12 p.m. on Thursday afternoon, and I'm doing this simply because the 3 previous Taoiseachs promised me many promises, and they promised me that they would stop breaking the law on the assessments and needs issue, where over 93% of children are not getting their assessment within 6 months of their application, which is exactly what is stated in the law, that they must be assessed within the 6 months, and that they haven't followed their promises, and that they've broken all the promises, and that the cabinet are breaking the law on this issue, and that I've told them that if they don't change their action to stop breaking the law, that I was going to protest for 50 hours on the dirty cold streets of Dublin, and unfortunately they did not stick to their promises, and now I'm going to be with Micheál Martin, the current Taoiseach, at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, and I'm going to be telling him that the cabinet are breaking the law and that you're allowing it to go on. And I get that the government won't want to hear that they're lawbreakers, but that's why I'm here, is so that they need to stop being lawbreakers, and that the only way they're going to not be lawbreakers is by stopping breaking the law. And that I think that it's so disgraceful that a 14-year-old like me has to sleep on the cold, dirty streets of Dublin because the Taoiseach ministers and many other politicians, not naming anyone in particular, I'm not here to do that, but the politicians in general cannot do the job that they're being paid to do. So a 14-year-old has to do it for free, which I think is just disgraceful.
So I know this is not your first time protesting. You were up there in a weekly protest last year, and you and I would have spoken at the time, and I know you had meetings with senior politicians, including the then Taoiseach, and you secured a lot of funding as well, which was a great achievement for somebody like yourself. But promises were made to you as well at those meetings. Were those promises kept?
No, they were not kept. For example, I met Simon Harris at the end of August, and he promised that he was going to meet me after the budget, first of all, and second of all, that he was going to keep on working with me to fix the assessments and needs crisis in Ireland, and he didn't stick to either of those. And I'm only a 14-year-old girl who is only just learning things in the real world, and I'm only very young. Listen, but I think that anyone who makes a promise of any age, of any gender, of any type of person should stick to their promise, or else your credibility is going to be gone. And that trust is a big thing. And despite me meeting Simon Harris nearly 8 to 9 months ago now, I still think he should keep to his promises and help to work with me on this issue. And look, I'm going to be meeting Micheál Martin at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning on the dot, and I'm going to be telling him that he needs to make promises to me and that he needs to stop breaking the law and set a timeline as to when he's going to stop breaking the law, and then move heaven and earth and work so hard to achieve that. And I just don't understand how politicians and the Taoiseach and many others can just look at the headlines and see a child sleeping outside on the street, and sure, they probably feel sympathy, but that they're not doing anything about this issue, and that a 14-year-old sleeping on the street still does not seem to be enough to determine them to do something about this issue. So all I'm going to say is that I'm not going to go away until I get what I want, and that the promises have been broken, but I'm going to keep on fighting until I get what I want and until I do what's right.